but it's been described as what, Hansel and Gretel, and
He says that.
and he was the witch. Witch.
No,
bitch?
you've got
bitch?
it all.
Witch?
No.
Yeah.
Anyway, as long as people are enjoying it on any level, getting a kick out of it, and if it helps them come out of the closet or whatever, fantastic is all I can say.
Yeah. But it did come out. It did
It's
come
for the
out.
unconventional conventionalists, or certainly for the unconventional.
Yeah. And it did come out at a time in '76 when the gay movement was just starting, and it was sort of we were like the first sort of queer movie, and they were coming out of the shadows, and they were showing up at midnight showings in New York, and they were showing themselves to the world, and I think this was a real important step for that whole movement. I'm still straight, but
That's not what your wife says.
that's no really. Yeah. Okay.
So, Barry, I'm going to leave you out of this question.
Please, I don't want to be in any more of this.
Yeah, you've said enough.
Because I want to ask Pat and Nell about another film they made with Richard O'Brien that a lot of people didn't like for many, many years that is suddenly starting to be seen as a kind of a classic of its own, and that's Shock Treatment. The equal, not sequel to Rocky Horror. So what was that experience like when you got back together and made that film without Barry?
Well, there were a few very important things missing in that film. Number one, Tim Curry, and number 2 and 3, Barry and Susan. To me, that would have made the film...
Yes.
I think the film, if it had had those people in it, would be just massive.
I'm sorry, I totally disagree.
I agree with you.
And you, you would. The whole thing about Shock Treatment was that it was meant to take place in Texas, be filmed in Texas. And, excuse me, there was a writer's strike in America, so no one could work. Everyone down tools. So we went into Wembley Studio to make it. So that was a very big change in their ideas. It isn't called Texas, it's a tiny studio. So they had to adapt to that very quickly. Apart from that, Shock Treatment isn't based on a book called Frankenstein. And it's another story, and it's about reality TV. And it was so ahead of its time, the idea, that people didn't even know what it was about. I didn't, and I was in it. And found it hard to follow, but anyway. And so it's not sequel or equal or anything. It's completely different, very different music, but marvelous. The songs are great.
Fabulous
And they've
songs.
just done it in London on the stage. They've readapted it, and it's had fantastic reviews. And like the Times critic and everyone saying, we're just singing down the street every song from it. So it's like before its time. And then when the James Carey show came out, the Truman Show, Richard was talking to me and said, they've stolen my plot, because born in a soap opera. Well, they were in a game show. It was extraordinary, because that's what reality TV is now, isn't it?
It's a very prophetic
It's
film.
like Big Brother, the house and all that. Live in there.
I just think the thread between the two films, that could be obviously completely different subject matter, whatever, but I think it would have been great if those people had been in very different roles as we that were in it were. Mm-hmm. But anyway, it wasn't to be.
No. And there was always talk about another sequel, but that never came to be either. Another direct sequel to Rocky Horror that never happened.
I think it was called The Old Queen.
Yeah, the Revenge of the Old Queen.
Ghastly. I think Frank's meant to have gone to Denton, and Janet's pregnant. I thought, how horrible to have pregnancies in Rocky Horror. A baby of Frank and Janet. Ugh. Sorry, I didn't get that. But I kind of worked out I wasn't going to be in it, because Richard O'Brien killed me off in a magazine. He made out when Janet, disappeared or something. I thought, I didn't. I went back to Transylvania. I remember that. So I said to him in a very public place where he was with the press and everything, I said, am I going to be in this film, The Old Queen, Richard? And he said, shut up. So that never got made, but I know nothing about it, really. Do you?
I was in it. It was fabulous.
Yeah, we missed that.
My wife wanted me to be in it because she thinks I'm an old queen. Apparently, according to you. Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to open it up to audience questions now because we have a few minutes left. We have 2 microphones here on each side. If anybody wants to go and ask a question. I know you do. Come on. Don't be shy. But you guys had, in shock treatment, you had Barry Humphries, who was
Oh, that was a plus.
wonderful.
Yeah.
And then
Really?
Rick Mayall as well.
Rick Mayall and
Unfortunately-
Ruby Wax.
Yeah, Ruby Wax.
Yeah, but they all came from the Comedy Store. We're back to Chalky White, the producer, because he produced the Comedy Store with all of them. So that's how they entered that world, again, through him. You know, so Rick and Ruby were all Comedy Store people.
So you're saying basically if you want to get in this business and have control, become a producer.
Sorry?
If you want to get in the show business and be in control, be the producer. That's the guy that gets to make all the decisions.
Well, funny enough, I think the best person if you have to sleep with somebody, because I made the mistake of sleeping with the directors, I think you should sleep with the casting directors. Okay? That's
There
just my
weren't
tip.
any in those days.
That's my tip.
Really? But the female casting directors are pretty doggy. You know, I haven't run across a lot of great-looking female casting.
Darling, there were 2 casting directors in the whole of London, Miriam Brickman and another one.
And I
the
slept
only
with both of
reason-
them.
The only...
Yeah.
Dyke. Sorry. And the point being that people like... it was only because Americans didn't know who we were. So everyone knew... It's hard to explain, but they didn't need casting directors. We had agents who were powerful. They did all that. And it was like Woody Allen came to cast, so he went to Miriam Brickman to bring in the actors of England that she thought might be right, because he didn't know English actors. Do you see? That's why they existed. Now there's 1 billion million casting directors, and I'd like to put them all up against the wall and go boom, 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 because they have made life hell. Because they choose the list who's going to be, and so that means I can't get through the door if that casting director thinks, I don't think Pat Quimby be right for that. You think, who are you to say that? Do you know what I mean?
I totally see what you mean.
So I'm just saying casting directors are pain.
All right, we're going to start over here. We have one question over here first.
Okay, I was wondering for all 3 of you what your favorite songs were from Rocky Horror to perform or just enjoyed the sound of.
Mine was a song called Once in a While.
Once in a while, they don't have to call me.
It was his song that was cut from the
Singing
film.
on the
Total
telephone.
turkey.
And once in your life, she don't want to know you.
Yes!
You look around. Sit down.
I'm very excited.
But you were getting excited, weren't you? Yeah, I know you were.
Yeah, tell them to sit down
Sit down. It's my favorite song because it was cut from the movie.
You have to murder your darlings, you know.
No, I know. It was the wrong song at the wrong time,
You were just no good.
sung by the right person. Why was what? No, that was. Now let's pass it down the panel.
Oh, well, the time warp, because obviously I'm the star of it.
Yeah.
I don't think so, Missy. A science fiction. And I didn't get to sing it in the film. Richard O'Brien did.
I got to do my tap dance solo in the time warp. Tell us about it, Janet.
All right, we're going to go over here to this side and take this lady's
Oh.
question.
Hi. I was wondering what it was like working with the costumes. Like, there are some really great costumes in the movie. I want to know what
Mine
it's
seem
like.
to be ripped in very odd places. Is yours?
I wasn't allowed to rip my
You
pajamas.
made those rips, Nell. You're a flasher and always have been. They're always popping out.
Have you got
What?
a rip?
Ma'am?
Sorry?
What?
Careful, she
All you
barks.
do is take. Oh.
I don't have any rips.
I found out about that when I saw the film for the first time.
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
It's true.
Yeah, sure.
What was the question,
She
darling?
on stage, she was getting fan mail, and I, Magenta, didn't get any. And I thought, I wonder why that is. But of course, it was the Dirty Mac Brigade, because they kept popping out. Rouged.
Yeah.
Sorry, carry on.
So your favorite costumes are very, I mean, what about wearing
My
the
underwear.
fishnets? The fishnets?
My
and-
underwear.
Oh, the underwear is your
Like,
favorite.
here,
Oh, there you
see,
go.
I carry these underwear with me. There you go, right there. Yeah.
I have an amazing thing.
See?
As a,
Not bad. A
there's
one-hand catch. Very well done.
It's like a rock concert, right? Yeah.
There's a lovely story from Sue Blaine, the costume designer and maker. She's brilliant, wonderful. And I say she created punk, not Vivienne Westwood. Anyway, and the story is that Magenta's dinner dress, and they had one piece of chiffon for the dress, and that cost a lot of money. The whole budget for the film went on that piece of chiffon. And she was terrified to cut it because it had to be cut on the bias. And just like that was the shape. And the boy assisting her, he cut it. And she said to turn her back to the wall. She looked out the window. She couldn't watch him in case it didn't work. Because if it didn't work, there was no dress. And she turned around, he'd cut it so amazingly. I've been in the show since, and that dress has been made again, but it's never the same, the shape. And he 10. And anyway, so that thing, it just drapes over, and it has two holes, the arms, and it's just the cut of it. And it's gorgeous. But it's a lovely story that she thought, if they get it wrong,
The
there's no
budget
money.
for the costumes on the film was $1,650 for all the costumes.
Okay, we'll take the question over here.
My question is for Mr. Boswick. In 1977, you won a Tony Award for doing Robber Bridegroom.
Thank you.
And
You didn't know that, did you?
What?
The Robber Bridegroom. It was a show I did on Broadway.
The what, bridegroom?
The Robber Bride. See, that was the problem with the show. Nobody could say the title. The Robber Bridegroom.
Could you spell that second word?
Robber.
That 10 minutes is going down real fast.
Bridegroom. Thank you.
Robber
Yes.
bridegroom. All right.
and I was wondering, after your performance in Rocky Horror in 1975, were you concerned that you may not have been able to reintegrate into the Broadway world?
The what? Oh,
The Broadway world. Well, no, because the Broadway world is very gay. I was actually more invited into the Broadway world.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. I did another show called Nick and Nora, a musical that lasted a week or so.
Nick and Nora, that's a bit nice.
Nick and Nora, based on the movies Nick and Nora. You didn't know this, did you?
No.
No, okay.
Where are you two going?
Oh,
It better be
really?
good.
Darling, take no notice.
They're going out to buy the Nick and Nora cast album. No, did I answer your question? And thank you for bringing that up. I'll give you the $10 later. Okay, great. Thank
I'll
you.
be around to collect.
Okay.
Derek.
Next question.
I also have a question for Barry Bostwick.
Yes.
Can you tell me exactly which hour belongs to the watchword?
Oh, yeah. See, now, this is another $10 I have to pay somebody. The Devil's Carnival, Alleluia, is a musical that we did that's coming out in March. Darren Bousman directed it, who did Repo, the Genetic Opera, and the first Devil's Carnival. And I did another movie before him called Tales of Halloween, that was out in Halloween. And he's a brilliant young filmmaker and musical person. And I play a character called the Watchword in it. And you asked me a question like, what exact hour? I have no idea because I don't remember the movie.
You got to make that up in future.
What do you mean
what?
by that? I don't
13
understand
o'clock.
your
13
question.
o'clock.
13 o'clock.
What do you, what's this about an hour?
God. It was called The Robber Bridegroom.
Oh, piss off. I still don't know what you're saying. Sorry.
Thank you very much.
Don't answer
Look
me.
for
It's
it.
okay. You
Look
can
for
go.
it. Devil's Carnival. Hallelujah. It's a
13
great movie.
o'clock.
You look lovely.
I repeat,
Young
13
lady.
o'clock.
You look very gorgeous.
Yeah.
That's
Keep
you I'm
growing your
talking
hair,
to.
darling. It's
Hello?
working.
That's you. I'm saying you look lovely. Yeah. Thank you.
All right, we have 2 questions left. What's your question, ma'am?
Hi, I was wondering if you have ever been back to the place where you shot Rocky Horror, what was that experience for you?
I have. Richard O'Brien and I were won as a prize on a radio show to have lunch at Oakley Court, the hotel. And I hadn't been back since then, and these girls won, so they won us for lunch. So we were in the dining room where we ate meatloaf. It was great to go back there. And then a friend of mine, it's near Windsor, my friend was riding this bicycle in the grounds of Oakley Court, and he said, there are people running around here dressed up as you. I said, what? I said, that'll be the Rocky Horror Picnic. It's once a year. And I said, put me onto them, the phone. Say I'm on your phone. And he gave it to David and Stephanie, who run the whole picnic thing, and they're talking to me. I said, I don't want to talk to you. I want to talk to the people, the Magentas, who have come to the picnic. I don't want to talk to them, you know, those two. So I talked to Magentas. It was lovely. That was a coincidence, don't you think?
Was the dining room scene actually in Oakley Court? Was it?
They're still there.
Oh, was it? It wasn't a set?
And Richard O'Brien came on and on about the doors. The doors had gone. They were like stained glass panel windows in those doors. And he said, I've always wanted those doors. And he went on and on about it. I said, can you shut up about the bloody doors?
Yeah.
Sorry.
All right, and our final question of the panel?
It actually isn't a question.
Oh.
Y'all had mentioned that a different type of person came to the theaters to see it. We came at the age of 14 every Friday. I'm from Charleston, South Carolina. Thank you. There was a theater called the Riviera, and we would go stoned.
Stoned?
Really?
Really stoned.
Yeah, I was getting stoned.
With popcorn every Friday, and y'all rocked my world.
All right! I wish I'd been with you. How great.
My adult children, when I guess 10 years ago, saw the movie on TV for the first time and were like, really, Mom?
How old were your children when they saw it the first time?
They were my older two were in their middle teens, and they're like, I said, look, I got your grandmother watching Saturday Night Live at this point, and
I encourage you all to have your children watch the film from birth.
Yeah.
Okay?
And Al suggested that they give the 3-year-old a drink and set them in front of the telly.
And
It
I think the problem
actually-
with why your children didn't get it is because you didn't get them stoned before you showed it to them. Oh, you did
Yeah,
get them
people
stoned.
get 'em
Oh,
stoned.
Jesus.
I freely admit that. I am a hippie.
Hallelujah.
I'm a hippie.
What?
You're a hippie, yeah.
What
Yeah.
she said.
But
What did you say?
I had moved to a new area
Yeah.
and met the group of people that did this every Friday night. And that's why I said, I know I've seen it over 100 times in a theater. And what it did for me,
Yeah.
it was wonderful. It was a release of angst in a teenager to go and have fun and throw popcorn and have the poor people behind us
Yeah.
every night after midnight sweeping up popcorn because that was the thing to do then.
Yeah, but the most important question is, did you get laid?
Actually,
Don't answer that.
I'm married. No, I don't have a problem answering that. My first husband, I had my first 2 children by. He passed away, and I married a very wonderful man who raised those children as their own, and I have my youngest by him.
Oh, my God. That's
And
great.
the youngest actually got to watch Rocky Horror Picture Show with the other 2, but no, I did not get her stoned at 8.
Oh, okay, good. Well, thank
I
you for the
wanna
question.
thank y'all.
Thank you for the
Thank you
comment.
very much.
Yeah, thank you.
And I just want to say, let's give a big round of applause for Barry, Nell, and Patricia.
Thank you.
No, thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you all for coming, and we'll see you tonight at the Vinyl Music Hall for the Rocky Horror Picture Show experience.